Hi guys.
We have just been on our first ever Marella cruise.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. So we went on a theme cruise, which was a noughties versus 90s cruise.
Yeah, and we partied like it was the 90s.
Not that our bodies kept up with how they did in the 1990s though.
No, sadly our bodies are not quite what they once were.
No.
However, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and wow, did we have some interesting times.
So before we get into it, talk a little bit about the ship, the experience itself, let's have a look and see what we actually got up to.
Here's a little highlights reel. Roll
VT!
VT!
We're in Palma. We're in Mallorca.
Finally all ready and set to go. Ready to party and boogie like it's 1919, 2000. Yes?
Yeah.
Come on, you can be a bit more super excited.
To the left of you is Spain. To the right is the Mediterranean.
Welcome back. I have to say, I think we did a lot of waving on this cruise.
We did, didn't we? We waved a lot. And it's weird because we all knew each other, so I don't know why we were waving at each other so much.
I think it's just that natural reaction. See a camera, wave, hi.
Okay, so let's talk about our first thoughts about what we thought about the cruise itself.
This was a different cruise to what we've been on before.
Yeah, it was a little bit surprising, and I don't actually think we got the true Marella experience.
No, I think, to be fair to Marella, and I would say now, I think our review this is really on the noughties versus 90s. It is Marella, and we will talk about the ship, but it is very much the themed cruise.
Yeah.
We could tell, I mean, we were lucky enough on the last day, we actually had quite a late flight, and they let us stay on the ship. So we got to see kind of the ship turn back to being a normal
Marella
cruise.
And that was surprising at how different things were, and we'll get into that and talk about that in a moment.
Different.
So it was really good going on the cruise. There was a lot of people that we knew going with us. So I had some former colleagues going, Emma from Marella Cruises, there was Lizzie from Travels with Lizzie Lou. We also had
Paul and Carol
to travel. So there was a whole big group of us, and we all really got on together, and we all sort of centered around sort of knowing Emma.
Don't forget Ian.
Ian, of course.
We can't forget Ian.
No.
Ian was like Slash, yeah.
He was like
starters, he was Slash, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a great member of our motley crew.
But we got to meet some other, some people came up to us who recognised us and said hello, which was really nice. But we had, as a group, an absolutely fantastic time. We I don't think we'd laugh so much, and you would see that in the BT. So yeah, but it was such a great time.
We've never done a Marella cruise, obviously, before, but also never done one that was a kind of fly, cruise, transfer, all in one. Normally we fly out the day before ourselves, we have a day in whichever city we're leaving from, and then we board the ship the next day. But this one was all in one. Obviously, TUI and Marella do it all as one package, so we flew out on the day with a flight full of everyone going on our cruise pretty much, got on the bus and then straight to the ship.
It was pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
It was it was really smooth, really straightforward, really easy.
Yeah.
The longest and most troublesome thing was the passport queue, which was enormous.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brexit. But once we got into the actual terminal at the cruise port, absolutely fantastic.
Sailed through.
You knew you were in the 90s. There was a Kevin and Perry act going around. There was, I think, some people dressed up as other acts like the Spice Girls and stuff like that. All around, music blaring.
It was good.
Super smooth, straight through. The only thing I did notice, and was a bit of a kind of drag for me, was we did register our card, and they struggled with the fact that being a same-sex couple, my card was paying for Justin as well, but I was like, it's the same bank account.
They sorted it out anyway.
They did get it, but then when we got on board, we did have a problem again where they hadn't registered the card fully and properly against our account. They did sort it very quickly in reception, but it was kind of...
Yeah, it's just
a bit irritating.
Annoying, but it's fine. It's fine.
A very minor gripe.
Yeah. So on this cruise, we left from Palma. There was 2 ports that we went to. So we went to Barcelona and we went to Valencia. So we got out in Valencia. Sorry, we did actually get out in Barcelona. Why not? That's our local haunt. If you know us by now, we're always in Barcelona. But we took one of our fellow vlogger with us as well, and we went and checked out the city. There was one incident though when I went to go and get ice cream where someone did try and go into my bag, but luckily I know Barcelona, and so I was very clued on very quickly as to what they were doing.
It is a hotspot. Barcelona is a hotspot for pickpockets. However, as I pointed out to Justin, the only thing he would have got was probably a smelly pair of socks, a cap, and some suntan lotion. So he wasn't going to get anything exciting if he did go in the bag. But yeah. It is always worth noting Barcelona is a pickpocket hotspot. Yeah. So just be aware.
And the good thing about Barcelona is that I love showing it to other people, but there's always something new that we see. So this time, where did we go?
We went to the Boqueria.
Yeah, and that was amazing. I'd never sort of been to the Boqueria, but it was great to see all the different foods and walk through and eat some lovely fruit. We had
As you know, we are foodies, so we enjoy the food side. So
but we did eat fruit. We did eat fruit.
We also had some sweets with alcohol in them, which were amazing.
I need 3.
Yeah, they were expensive, but they're really good, those sweets.
And we just made it back to the ship just in time before it started raining.
Oh, just before the rain. I was thinking, we were back ages before we cruised, but before the rain. We made it perfectly timed that. It's like we planned it.
So the next day we docked in Valencia. Now we'd been there only a couple of weeks before. We're going there in October, but for this port we didn't actually get out. We decided just to do a bit of a walk around the ship.
The thing to note is that actually Valencia port into the city is quite a way. You're not going to be able to walk it. You will need to either pay for a taxi or a transfer bus. So we kind of decided on this day we'll take it easy. We'll explore the ship a bit. We'll relax around the ship. We found this amazing area at the back of the ship, the veranda.
Yeah.
That was really good. Thanks, Paul and Carol, for introducing and showing us that one.
And entertaining conversation.
Yes. And then we had the really nice areas at the aft of the ship. Actually, there's a crazy golf course there. There's the rock climbing wall. There's this veranda. We also went to sort of the spa that day. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So let's talk about the ship itself.
So the Marella Discovery 2 was originally built for Royal Caribbean, and you can definitely tell that in the way the ship is designed. However, it's built in 1995, and I have to say, I don't think it's showing its age terribly.
No.
Yeah, there are things that you don't get on a more modern ship that it has. Things like you've got to go through certain venues to get to other venues and things. So there's no kind of big central promenade walk or anything. But it's really looking good for its age. And I think Marella, they took over in 2017 the ownership, and it's looking good. It's really well looked after. I think they do really take care of the ship.
Yeah, I mean there is features on it that you'll see, like the old sort of wood panelling and the wood's a little bit dated. The cabins were a little bit dated in the cabins, but I would have to say that the decor, it was okay, and it was well maintained.
Yeah, we'll come on to the cabins in a minute. One thing that I would say is, tell me you're on a Royal Caribbean ship without telling me you're on a Royal Caribbean ship.
Is this to do with the bar that's around the funnel?
That is one thing, yeah. I was actually thinking the rock climbing wall at the back, which is kind of a staple, isn't it? But no, I have to say that the bar around the funnel is definitely a Royal Caribbean staple.
It's where we spend a lot of time as well.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the dining room. It was amazing, wasn't it? It was really open and had really great sea views.
It's really interesting. I didn't think I'd enjoy a really big double height dining room. But actually, having been on Queen Mary 2 earlier in the year, and now also on Discovery 2, they are so nice. There's something quite, I don't know, harking back to the era of great ocean exploration. Let's go with that. But yeah, it's really quite cool. I mean, modern ships, yes, and it does also date it in that sense, because more modern ships have gone for much more the kind of smaller main dining rooms, multiple small main dining rooms, all doing the same menu.
Yeah.
Here, it's one really big main dining room. Although upstairs they do also have the Italian, so they kind of split the main dining room as well.
Yeah, and the nice thing I found was the promenade deck. I love a promenade deck, and it was right up to the sea, so it was actually good at night. We actually went out, stood there, watched some beautiful sunsets, took some really good photos. So yeah, it was really nice. I love the promenade.
Yeah, she is only a small ship having about 1,800 passenger capacity, so that does help as well, I think, with having a bit more space. You did feel space, and it's funny, I didn't think I'd ever hear myself saying this, but I quite like the smaller ships. I like being able to get to places quickly and not walk for hours.
Yeah. I just don't know.
Choice.
I don't know on a 7-day voyage, like if we had Josh, I don't know whether, if there was a few too many sea days or something in there, whether we'd get a little bit bored. I'm not 100%.
That's what we're saying as well. The Noughties versus 90s cruise was adults only, so Josh did not come with us.
And there was entertainment non-stop.
Yeah. So Justin, what did you think about the cabin?
Yeah, look, for the age of the ship, I think the cabin was quite nice. We had a balcony cabin. And I just thought it was really, really nice. I mean, the decor was okay. The only thing I would say was there was a couple of mysterious stains on the floor. It looked like a couple of alcohol.
There was more than stains on the floor. If you remember, there was a big stain on the bed, and it was disgusting. I have to say, on the first night, and I'm not one to lift up the sheets particularly and check, but I move around quite a lot when I sleep. I checked under the bed on the first day because I need to put the sheet back because I've moved it and come untucked. And the mattress protector was absolutely filthy and disgusting.
It was bad.
We did raise that to them though, and to their credit, pretty much immediately, within 30 minutes, it was replaced that day.
And it was a brand new one.
It looked like it was out of the packaging. So it was really good, but it was a bit of a negative for me. The other negative for me, it had a big shower curtain.
Yeah,
and it was a clingy one. It liked to cling on. I
don't like these Klingon shower curtains, but the bathroom actually wasn't. It was actually out of the whole cabin was actually very modern, wasn't it?
It was quite modern for it. Yeah.
There was some really weird cupboard spaces though. They had like all these different cupboards, and you sort of opened it, and there was like these boxes, like electrical boxes and things like that in there.
So that's one thing you definitely weren't lacking. Storage.
No, and the wardrobe I thought was really good because you could actually open it up and you could go in. It was kind of like a bit sort of a step-in wardrobe, so it actually had plenty of room.
Step-in wardrobe? Maybe if you're skinny. Not if you're my size. It wasn't. The door was. It was retro.
Yeah, it was retro, but it was functional, you know.
It was fine.
For me, I'd have to say the bed. Like I jumped on the mattress the first day, and I thought, oh gosh, it's a thin mattress. I'm going to be sleeping on slats tonight. But to be quite honest, it was actually quite comfortable. It was one of the more comfortable beds I've been on at sea. No.
My most comfortable one still today is the QM2
of course,
one. The tune-up bed was really comfy. But having said that, it wasn't a bad night's sleep. I'm not saying it was a bad night's sleep at all. No. But no, it wasn't one of my most comfortable ones either. But it was a good night's sleep.
Yeah, nice touch as well as that being British. British Cruise Line and that, they had kettles in there, so we got to have our own tea and coffee in the room, which is also a nice touch.
Bizarrely, if you were in a balcony, you got it automatically. If you were in an inside or an ocean view,
you had to
from
ask
some of our
for
friends,
it.
you had to ask for it, which
Weird.
is odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have got to talk about the food.
Yeah, the food on the noughties versus 90s cruise, and then we will talk about the last day.
Yeah, so the food on the noughties 90s food was school dinners, mass catering at its worst. I'm sorry, but it really was bad.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the food that much, to be quite honest, because of
you got a raw hot dog, and I don't know how you get a raw frozen hot dog still. It was
a little bit hard because of my intolerances as well. Most of the stuff that they were selling or were providing, I mean, they did long food services until like 2 a.m, but it was chips, chicken wings, fried chicken
food,
wings.
Basically.
There's a lot of fried food and pizza and that, and even though I did eat it, I didn't feel very well the next day.
And the breakfast buffet was really bad as well. It was always running out.
Yeah, always queues.
It was kind of bizarre. They shut the main dining rooms for breakfast, so it was like you only got the buffet to go to, really. There was the
glass house.
The glass house.
That's where we went on the second and third day because they had like bacon butties and that. It was just so quick.
As I say, but it was a smaller kind of like takeaway style breakfast, which was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they could have, for the capacity they had on the ship, the main dining room being closed to breakfast was kind of crazy. And on the Daily Planet, it actually said it was open, but it was never open.
I mean, when I went into the main restaurant for dinner on the first night, and I think the second night we went to the Italian. I mean, the meals were fine. They were just, I thought the food was good. They also said, they knew that I was lactose intolerant, so they said, yep, we'll give you the menu beforehand. I mean, the food was okay. It wasn't the most exciting food, but it was just sort of what you're used to, British standard food in the restaurants. But yeah, on the rest of the ship for sort of lunch and breakfast, it was really hard. I mean, I felt like skipping breakfast most of the time because it
pretty much did. Really. The second and third day,
it just wasn't that great.
Yeah, the Italian, I have to say, it was a good Italian, but we are a little bit spoiled on Italians. So from our perspective, having come off an Italian cruise line recently, it wasn't up to that standard. But equally, it was very tasty food. It was hot, which is unusual for a cruise ship, I'm sorry to say, because so many times I've had food on a cruise ship being lukewarm.
Yeah.
It was hot and it was tasty.
The other thing I do want to say about food, though, is that because we did the noughties 90s, as we said, it was sort of mass catering. It was interesting when we were on the ship on the last day until 2 o'clock, and they were doing the changeover. We went into the buffet for lunch, and the food quality, the food options were
they had salads.
far better. Yeah, they had salad. I was like, oh my gosh, salad. So it was great. So yeah, no, I definitely have to say that we didn't probably get the food sort of experience that you'd get with Marella on the noughties 90s cruise, but we could definitely see what it would look like on a normal cruise as well.
It was interesting as well because the drinks during the cruise were a bit of a hit and miss.
Yeah,
probably more miss than hit. But actually on the last day, all the things that we've been told were staples of Marella, like the guy with his kind of cart thing coming around the pool deck to bring the drinks around, and you can get a soft drink or a beer or a glass of wine or certain pre-mixed cocktails. He was back on the last day where I hadn't seen him the entire cruise before that.
I think they had sort of a bar and that set up with beer and wine on the deck. But to be quite honest, we have to talk about the cocktails. So basically it was an all-inclusive cruise, so it didn't include most of your cocktails. We did actually get charged.
And to be fair, Marella always is all-inclusive.
Correct, yeah. On the first day, though, when we did look at the cocktail list, I had assumed that all the cocktails were included, and then we found on our bill that there was 3 cocktails where we've been charged £2.50 each for a cocktail, and that was just an uplift for some of the cocktails as well.
I can't really complain about £2.50, but
no,
they weren't great cocktails, so I do complain.
Yeah, but to be quite honest, you could. I know one of our friends had actually paid an extra £60 to have like the high grade of cocktails, premium cocktails, and they weren't worth it. We were also drinking just the bulk standard cocktails that they had, and I think a lot of it was pre-mixed, and at times we were asking for double, triple shots, and to say there was alcohol in there would have been a bit of a.
I think that may have been they were trying to regulate. I think during the day a bit as well, just
the
how
amount
much
of drinking. Yeah,
but equally, it wasn't a thing. I decided to drink lager or beer or wine on an evening, but thing is, lager gets quite gassy, so it's not the most nice thing to always drink loads of. But I mean, people seem to be having fun, so there's definitely alcohol flowing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also need to talk about the entertainment during the 90s versus noughties cruise.
The good, the bad, and the drag.
I love that.
Yeah, it was. It's true.
It was.
Along with the theme, we had a lot of entertainment, and we had some interesting entertainment.
Yeah, so the first night started off with the Vengaboys. So
the Vengaboys is coming. It's quite enough of that song.
Yeah, it was good. Everyone really got into it.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. I thought that was a really fun
Not
night.
the best headline act. I mean, only 3 real famous songs. Someone will correct me, I'm sure, in the...
and then they did some covers and things like that as well.
Yeah, they did covers. It was a fun set, and it was really good to go back, and they are kind of 90s essence.
Yeah.
The second night we had Gals Aloud,
which is the Girls Aloud drag act.
Yeah, so we had Kitty Scott Claus and Cheryl Hole from UK Drag Race, amongst many other amazing things.
Yeah. And
they were really good, actually, really good audience interaction, and I think that really made some of the acts definitely much better.
Yeah.
Because the audience interaction was there.
Yeah.
Later that night we had DJ Sash, amazing songs, etc. But interaction with the audience wasn't as good because he's a hardcore DJ, so he was busy with his set. So the songs were great, but it was a bit lacking, so we kind of retired at that point back to bar 11, had a few more drinks, and then went to bed. The last night we had the 2 remaining members of Atomic Kitten.
Yep.
And we also had
Vernon
DJ
K.
Vernon K,
yes.
which I thought was potentially a weaker act. I mean, Vernon K's cool, and his set was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, he had some guy like singing terrible singing, but he let him sing for a while.
And he emceed for him.
Yeah.
And the challenge was to, I think, win some champagne bottles if you could sing all the lyrics. And I don't think anyone believed that this guy knew all the lyrics to Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. He knew all the lines, so he kept going.
Yeah, it was
on
fun.
to the next song and the next song. There's about 3 or 4 songs in a row.
Yeah, but it was really good. It really took you back to the 90s, but I can't dance and stay up as late as what I used to. So,
Getting old here.
Yeah, so we got to go to the theatre twice, and we saw the Marella entertainment, and I have to say, it is really, really good entertainment.
Yeah, actually, for that crew to be doing the shows that they were doing, it was really impressive. I have to say, I was, out of all the shows that I've been to, they were doing West End style production shows every night, and it was a different show every night.
Yeah.
And it was the same team doing it, so it was not like they switched teams.
Yeah.
That was really impressive, and I have to give my hat off to them. That
Oh
was
yeah,
really good.
absolutely. So the first night there was I think it was rockology, so it all different types of rock songs, which was really, really fun. And then there was a bit of audience participation. So yeah, that was really good. And the second night there was it was a premiere of a new what was it? A new show, and it was kind of like, how would you describe it?
Dr. Volts. It's Rocky Horror Picture Show, kind of brought up to date a little bit. It's
Yeah,
the same
with
storyline,
modern
but with more
songs.
modern songs. So.
And that was, that was one of the best. I have to say, it was one of the best shows that I'd seen.
It was really good. They made great use of stage, and at one point, yes, they did on the first night. They had a bit of a technical meltdown and I'm a sound engineer by trade, so I know these things happen on a live show. The way they handled that was superb,
really
and they
good.
got it back up and running.
Yep.
They, nice and safely, very quickly, back up with the show. So very minimal disruption.
Yeah.
It's not like they just closed the show. So really good on.
And I do hear from people that Marella have some of the better shows on sea, which is
and you can take drinks in there, which is fantastic.
Yeah, which is great. And I love those big cushy chairs. Oh, it's nice.
Big cushy chair. Now, of course, this was a noughties versus 90s cruise, or 90s versus noughties cruise, whichever way you take it. And of course, it wouldn't have been a cruise without some dress up and some themes. So the first night we had was Icons, and I was Scooby-Doo.
And I was Ken from Ken and Barbie, but I was 90s Ken.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. That night was interesting. And then the second night we had was fashion.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. We just kind of dressed up in what we normally wore in the 90s, really.
Flannels and
jeans
t-shirts.
And white trainers,
Yeah.
It's classy. And then we, third night we had Icons.
No, it wasn't. It was school uniforms. Was the third night.
Oh yeah, no, Icons was the first night, sorry. It's all blending into one. So yeah, we had school uniforms and we were from Hoggle.
Yeah. So
that was a fun night, and the fun themes actually. And the nice thing was everyone joined in on the themes. So all majority. Yeah. I don't think I saw really anyone that didn't. So some people wore the same uniform, the outfit, 2 or 3 nights in a row, but it was still cool, and everyone did.
It was good.
It was nice to see everyone joining in.
Yeah, it was interesting to see some of the outfits as well. We had Bjork, we had everything. We had Kylie's, we had Spice Girls, Baywatch. We had everything from the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, I've kind of sponged the Spice Girls out of my head because they weren't ladies.
Yeah.
So roundup time.
Marella. So it was a bit hard to know what the true Marella experience was because I don't think that we actually got this on this cruise.
Yeah, I think from my side, personally, I'm not sure if Marella is our cruise line, but we are big ones for saying there's a cruise line for everyone, just not every cruise line is for everyone. So I do think this is, I would be willing to give it a try on a non-themed cruise to try it and see, because I mean the prices are really good and it's a very inclusive cruise line. But yeah, I think for me, probably not my first choice of a cruise line to cruise on, but equally would be happy to go back and give it another try, just check, especially given that the food changed right around on the last day. If the food had been the same the whole way through, I would have really been like no, but actually the fact that it did improve on the last day, you can't hope that maybe a normal cruise is better.
It'll be a bit different.
Non-themed cruise. Yeah,
but I'm the same. I would definitely try and give it a try. I like a bigger ship, but yeah, it was good. Yeah, definitely try it.
Noughties versus 90s, if they do another one, would be a lot of fun. Yeah, if the right people are on there with us, I think I'd go again because I just laughed so much and
we had so much fun.
So much fun.
Thanks for watching.
See you soon.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, like, comment, and share.